Hey, selling income real estate with or without tenants. That's a big question that a lot of people, investors anyway, always ask me, So I'm going to go through some stuff. But obviously, if you have tenants in a property, um, you're going to have to sell it for a discount of some sort because when investors are buying real estate, unless it's some kind of a really luxury situation, you're going to, they're going to want you to discount your price a little bit. So that's kind of what we do with those. Now, I don't always recommend that. I like to get tenants out. We're doing that with several houses that when they move out, we give them, the comps and stuff of what they can get out of it. But renters are always, we don't know what they're going to say to the people seeing the house. We don't know what they're going to say. It's not a controlled area where if I have them moved out, even if you're selling it as is and get it all cleaned up, you're going to have a better shot at selling it for more money because there's not everything's controlled there. The other thing you want to do is get an as is price and one to fix it up. You don't have to put marble floors with gold inlaid in it or anything like that. But you do need to paint the cabinets, paint it, maybe put some new flooring in, LTV. Most of our stuff runs between about $15,000 to $25,000, and that a lot of it goes up to $35,000 if we add bathrooms a lot. So that's our value add. So when you're comping stuff, make sure that when you're selling a property, say it only has one bathroom, look at what the two bathrooms sell for. It could be worth the investment because again, you don't get too many of these deals. These investments are very important, and you really got to break it down, detail it out, and make sure that you have the most return that you can have for it. We average between 20 and 23% return, and there's a website below this on this blog that we go over the details, breakdown of all our stuff. We have like 98 properties in there. We put one a week in there, but it's really breaking down what that client puts in his bank account. Very important. It's after property taxes, insurance, and all that good stuff. What do we actually in maintenance? What do we grab from there? So that's the thing. Value add would be a bathroom, maybe update a kitchen, maybe put a garage in, something like that. But make sure you're doing apples for apples. The rehab, is always needed, and you should do some sort to make sure that it looks good. Because if you go in there, if an investor goes in there, you don't know what kind of investor you have, first of all. And that's very important when you're selling investment real estate. I always look at the whole picture. So if somebody sends me an offer on one and it looks great, the financing and all that, I call the realtor, dissect that particular investor to make sure that they do close deals and they don't come in and ask for a ton of money off because they'll do an inspection. And by the way, I always like to do inspections before we sell it. So we have another piece of paper that says something. And most of the buyers that I deal with anyway accept that particular inspection because after all, it's about pre-existing conditions. And if you have an inspection report, then you can get a warranty, and that warranty is going to be okay. So when you sell it, that's going to be how you look at it. Two bathroom versus one bathroom, garage without garage. Does it have a basement in northern? I'm in northeast. Part northeast of part of the country, and there's a lot of basements here. So some of them do have a basement, some of them don't. So you want to look at all that. You want to look at the electrical boxes. There's a lot of stuff you've got to look at, but you've got to dissect that buyer. You've got to make sure they're not going to come in and be an issue, because I've seen it a ton of times where it's I sold a house over at 1053 Eaglewood, vetted the person, the realtor vetted everything she said was absolutely not true. So when the investors came through, they got a inspector, which the worst thing on that report was the roof, which we were willing to replace, no problem, but they backed out. They just ran because that inspector or the inspector, that's his game. Hey, I'll do the inspection, scare the crap out of them. That way I won't get sued and run them off. There's some inspectors out there like that. You want to get a licensed inspector and make sure you have a good inspector. You need to have three. but they need to be good inspectors, and I do a pre-inspection, and that's why I do that, because you don't know who's going to be doing the inspection on the sale. So if you're selling an income real estate, call me. I love vacant homes. I deal with tenants, and by the way, tenants in a house, it's hard to set up showings. Example, I'm selling one over in Willoughby. They bought a house. Particular investor wanted to go. The buyer wanted to go in tonight. They can't go until Friday because they're moving out. Just there's a lot of stuff there, so it's better to have vacant homes. So if you're looking to sell your home, call me. I'll give you a great price. I have a lot of investors that pay cash. We've closed about 8 properties in the last 2 months ourselves, cash. I have cash buyers also. So give me a call and we can go retail, and I can help you get the max amount of money for it too. 216-703-5740. I'm Brad. I'm with Key Realty, 1,200 plus properties. We would love to hear from you. Again, thank you for listening and have a great day.